So, as usual, I started talking about something like twice or three times, twice or thrice, and I forgot what I was gonna say. I never finished it really. So, it was just a simple experience, and I was getting lonely. I decided to manifest a friend, and I was like, I just want a true friend, you know, who isn't just like boring. So, so that night, after doing this intention practice for a couple minutes, just a couple minutes in front of my thing, and adding the clear intention, getting to it, it sort of like appears without vision. I don't really see stuff, but it's there. I can sort of feel the shape of it. I feel things more than I see them. And so when I have this thing and it's like, that's my intention, I've pared it down from all the little things, I've examined myself, and then I sort of see it or feel it fitting into the ether, sort of. And then I can tell subtly where there's more obstacles around it. And if it feels just clean and easy, then I'll go with it, right? If not, I feel like I need to work on it some more. There's hesitations, there's attachments, there's little strings all over the place, whatever. So I did that and just intended for a true friend. Exactly sure what that means, but I was comfortable with it at the time. A friend in truth, you know, just someone who's real. That night, I started talking to this one guy who I'd just been talking to casually. Decided to call him for whatever reason. We spent like 4 hours on the phone just talking and laughing, and it was awesome. Later that night, I got a random call from probably my oldest friend that I still have today. And I was freaking exhausted, so I'm like, whatever, universe. Thank you, I get it. So obviously, I'm gonna call him and talk to him and be like, hey, so I hear you're a true friend. um, and then I did the same thing the next day. I go out for to pick up a pizza, Joe Bria, and I sit at the bar waiting for my pizza, and I have a beer, and this woman sits down, very diminutive, totally Coloradoed up, as in like couple layers, jacket, hoodie, can barely even see her face. To me, she almost kind of looks like a boy, you know. I'm like, hey, we just start talking and making fun of different things. I put the Muppets on the TV because nobody else had the controller, so I'm like, ha ha! Actually, I think it was Sesame Street, but whatever, you know. I'm like, oh yeah. It's before all the straight guys come in and ruin it with their baseball. Actually, I like baseball, but it was a Monday, so it would have been football later that day. As long as somebody is playing that I care about, then it's fun. But yeah, so I had the controller. I'm just like putting it in, we're like laughing, and nobody cares. Then this like huge group of children comes in, so they're all like, now nobody has the heart to change the channel, you know, even though we were making fun of it before. But me and this girl just start talking and laughing, and I'm telling her about, you know, I've made beer in the past and stuff. She's like listening with like real attention, and then asking questions, which is really what I don't want just somebody to listen to me. You know, I want to like interact. Oh, that's interesting. So does this, you know, it's like, let's So hard to find somebody like that sometimes. You know, most people just want to talk. I can do that here. I can do it back and forth in my room. You know, I want to have a conversation. So we have great conversations. And then she's like, so what's this place? Comes out that I'm gay. Lo and behold, she's a lesbian. I'm like, yes, you know, just like a little more queerdom in my town, which is great. And she's actually moved into a cabin with her partner, just down the street. And she's like, so are you gonna be my new best friend? I was like, universe? Bit on point much. So, we spent the whole night together. And I took her to the dive bar. I was just going to pick up a pizza. And the only reason that it's like such a thing, it's like, yeah, this could happen to anyone at any time, but this is what I wanted to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is exactly what my intention meant. Just somebody that I can actually feel comfortable around. Maybe even a little safe because lesbians are badass and I always feel safer around them anyway. Um, and it's true. And somebody to talk to, somebody to like be pals with, a buddy. I don't care if it's a guy or a girl or how you identify, whatever, it's just I just wanted a friend, like a real one. And I got one. The next day I had other experiences, I went back to the bar after I dropped her off for reasons unknown. When I'm driving, I'm like, it's too snowy. And I just went, so I'm like, okay. Not more than 5 minutes goes by. And I spend a lot of time in this place. I have, and I'll go down there. Nothing ever happens. Like I said, I'll end up talking to some like old straight guy who won't look me in the eye because I have eyes on me and like I see things, and people can tell whether they know. They just get very uncomfortable when I'm like actually looking at them. And then I start to do the thing, especially if I've been drinking, where I'm like, can I just break this little thing up that you got going, little facade? And I start poking at you, and like trying to get these guys to loosen up. And some of them don't really appreciate it, It's hilarious though. So that's what usually happens. And I haven't made any friends. Especially not one that I could just sit there and have a drink with at the bar or something like that and not have to worry about it, I've gone through so much of just sitting there and I end up talking to this guy and I'm like, could you shut up for like 2 minutes so I could at least get a word in edgewise? Like, Jesus Christ, men have egos. And he just starts telling me, but yeah, I'm so rich and I'm so this and I'm going to do that, but I'm getting bored with my old life. I'm just going to toss it all away and start a brewery. And I'm like, cool, you're gonna start a brewery? Awesome. Well, tell me what kind of beers. Like, nope, doesn't want to do that. Just wants to talk about how amazing and rich he is. I'm like, I don't care about your fucking status, bro, unless it's HIV positive or not. Like, that's the only kind of status I care about these days, And even then doesn't really matter to me, as long as you're taking care of yourself. And seriously, you guys, it's like, yeah, it's been 3 years. Less than 5 minutes manifesting for this stuff. I think I probably have a friend for life. The next day, oh yeah, not more than 5 minutes goes by, back in the bar, and somebody else comes up to me, sits down, she looks friendly, I'm like, okay, she's gonna try to flirt with me, whatever, not to disappoint you, but no, she wasn't, she just wanted to be friends. She's like, hey, you seem cool, what's up, let's have a drink. I'm like, cool, I'll buy you a shot of whiskey, awesome, and, oh no, actually she had tequila, I had whiskey, Tuli. And we just started talking, and she's like, how come I never met you before? I'm like, I don't know. Well, how long have you been in town? Oh, I've been here for 3 years. What? Then we get on Facebook, and she's like, oh, this guy and this guy, cool, And so she's like, hey, you want to come over? I'm like, cool. She's hanging out with her other friends. She's like, yeah, my friend lives in town, and blah, blah, blah. We go over to their house, 3:30 in the morning. That's how long I ended up staying there. And we're just talking and hanging out, and it's cool. Starts to go home. The roads are so snowy and icy, neither of us can drive. So I had to ditch my truck because it's a 10-minute drive up the mountain in crazy icy conditions. I would have veered off an embankment and died. Like, if I had tried, I would have died. Like, this, or at least wrecked it, and that would have been a lot worse. So I was like, nope, this ain't gonna happen. Pulled off. Thankfully, she was right behind me. Pull off, get in her car. No worries. She turns around, put chains on her tires. Literally going up the mountain, what normally takes a 10-minute drive, took us an hour because we had to go so slowly to get to this place. But she got me home, got herself home, and I didn't sleep that night because I was worried about my truck, Next day, I call up my other friend who I'd spent the whole day with, and I'm like, I had to ditch my truck. Could you please give me a ride to it? I just need to figure out how. You don't have to stick around or help or whatever. I just need a ride, She's like, oh yeah, of course. I was just about to go back out. Let me just go, grab my stuff and take a shower and I'll be right there. So she comes over, takes me down. Oh, don't even worry about it. I gave her some weed, it's like, it's cool. And we end up being down by my truck, stays the whole time, helps me dig it out. We go to the store to get some gravel and put it under the tires. Then I'm just sitting there. We're like, hey, this ain't working. She tries to push me. Nothing happens. All right, I'm going to go have to ask a cop. As soon as I'm like feeling dismayed, this other truck comes over, pulls right over, starts backing up towards me. I'm like, you have a winch. And he's like, yeah, why don't you put this under your truck or that? And I don't even know. Just stopped because people are friendly out here. He's like, yeah, I always knew this would come in handy one day. I'm like, cool, bro. Pops me right out. Boop. I was thinking that word. Pops me right out. I go home. My friend goes home. Miraculous weekend, right? That kind of stuff hasn't happened yet, I take 10, or not even 10 minutes, less than 5 minutes, manifesting for a friend, and these are the kind of results I get. This is an addendum video, essentially, to that one about the new Magicks, the new paradigm, old paradigm, and the differences between them and stuff, and what you can manifest for, and whether or not it's going to have adverse consequences and bad things will happen if you mess with the things. I don't even see how anymore. How is it going to be? Yeah, it was a difficult experience, but everything was amazing, If I had been by myself and even hadn't had that one friend who just, wanted to hang out until 3 o'clock in the morning, then I would have been sitting there in my truck, unable to do anything, There's no Ubers out here. I'm not going to make somebody drive up that unless they have, like, 4-wheel drive and studded tires, It was a great experience, the whole thing. And I have friends. Who knew? So I just wanted to, like, make that a thing, or tell you guys about it, just because I'm not, like, bragging. I'm like, wow, yeah, but sort of. It's like, if you want that kind of stuff to happen, then you need to make it happen. Even if it is in an internal meditative way, It's like, I'm pushing all that stuff out there. Yes, I have this true desire. I have a hole in my life, in my existence, because I don't have a tribe out here. I've never had a tribe, really. To see that kind of stuff and those kind of results that quickly, to me, it just can't be a coincidence. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens later, But I just don't see anything else bad. And it wasn't even like I did this big old ritual or called on these, spirits or whatever. I'm just being there with myself, examining my desire. Yeah, I have this, like, weight. I don't want to just be by myself in my cabin all the time. I would like to have some people that I can actually relate to in some way, that we can have a normal relationship with, or just be pals. That's all I want. You know what I miss? Like, driving around aimlessly before we were concerned about wasting gas, and just laughing with people, listening to music, singing and dancing around in the car, and just being stupid. That's the kind of stuff that I miss, And I like pals. Even if we don't connect on the spiritual level, it doesn't matter. Like me and this guy I was talking to on the phone, like, pretty mundane, and yet for some reason, we just made each other laugh the entire freaking night, Now I have to sleep because I've been staying up too late. Anyway, I just wanted to share that, guys, with you. Again, this is an addendum to that one video if you're watching this one first. I just don't think that the consequences are that bad anymore if you decide to manifest for stuff. And this is where that whole, the Michael teachings and or the Abraham teachings and all that kind of stuff come into play. It is a new paradigm. It is a new way of thinking. It is a new way of behaving with the astrolite, And I think it's totally fine and okay. That is not to say that you're never gonna, encounter some weird result from one of your rituals or one of your intentions or whatever. It's not to say that you don't need to go through the process of confession or editing. Watch the other video to do that, to know more about that. About, really examining your desires and examining where you're coming from and examining your intention and whether it's a pure intention and what does that even mean. Like, you have to think about this stuff. More than that, you have to feel about this stuff. When you're doing subtle energy work and that kind of thing, even if it's just all up here and I'm focusing on the thing or whatever, well, how does it make you feel? How does the object of your desire make you feel? Is it desire that is motivating you to pursue and or manifest that object, or is it intellectual? Perhaps you believe you need that thing. Maybe you don't even desire it. You just believe that you need it. Why do you need it? Is there anything else that you could possibly need? Allow yourself the possibility, examine what's going on. You'll be much happier for it. And I don't think you need to worry as much as we used to. That's my take on stuff.